thing. Cool. Alright. Can't wait to play like 3 women in this case. Let's go.
Woo!
Yep. Alright. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian... No way, not cool. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She is your manager. Would have been very easily for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony, during the break, huh? I'm standing here inconspicuously as this man sleeps.
I love being a stalker.
I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up. Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Carita. But why? She was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day. Give me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze. Okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Yeah, like the bees.
This is good news.
Like Applebee's.
Finally, bees.
Phoenix. You think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Oh, suicide, can't say that word. YouTube hates that word. Her self-unalivement. Yes.
Well, hey, you can now swear in the first 7 seconds of video.
I can't. Fuck, shit, fuck.
No!
Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impact's as her strength and reason to live. She's floating again! My favorite part is how many times the game will just like flash this on screen like a fucking flashbang. Like it'll appear for half a second and go away. But Miss Impact suddenly
Sayori, what are you doing here?
But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. I guess she was dead on impact. It sounds like she left a suicide note and the person thought to have hit it is Juan Carita, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Carita. Oh, to get that suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was the first told us about the relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impact's. It was Edgeworth. It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. And then he promptly crashed the ship into the iceberg.
Woo! My go. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corrida's room.
Once again, Tristan voices character. I have no idea what kind of fucking voice to give her.
What is your occupation?
I am the manager of the defendant in this. She just sounds the same as fucking Mia. Fuck. I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard.
I see. Now then.
Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request.
Yeah, sure. What is it?
Fuck, I forgot to get my guide. Give me a sec. That's the most important part, because I'm not remembering everything. There's a turn. Very much I'm gonna walk through. Hey, it's already here. Part 2-2. Perfect. I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. And would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine. recently.
I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossip Land.
If the judge was a severe prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me.
Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim.
Yes, I was seeing Mr. Carito. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself.
So it was a fry and bait matter. Or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing.
You know what that means? Fish!
Fish!
But I didn't kill him.
No one is accusing you of that.
Bitch, I'm accusing you of that. Fuck you. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. Shit, she's on to us.
I think we all understand your relationship to the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court. About what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. King, king.
It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. Holy moly, I said. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice.
That bottle looks unopened. You poured yourself a glass of juice?
Yes, sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime, and I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing.
And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Time's up. That bottle was completely unopened.
That's not what it is, by the way.
Damn it.
It was, in fact, opened.
Damn it.
Hold on, where's the crime scene photo? Yeah, it looks unopened, but you can see it's like, the glass, it's definitely lower down.
Nah, damn it.
Phoenix. She's one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. Me, I'm in the same room as you. I can hear what she's saying. You should disrupt her pacing. She's in the middle of saying something. I'm like, Your Honor, shut her up. Disrupt her pacing.
Your Honor, shut the fuck up. He wasn't even there.
She's the type of woman who's easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. Your Honor, can I speak French? Just starts screaming at her different language, and she just like shuts down. Okay. Est-ce que je vois ici maintenant? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? The instant you let up on your offenses, the instant this oh my god, sorry, Pearl's connection isn't working very well. The instant you let up on your bro, I had the longest 3-hour shift of my life. The instant you let up on fucking Christ, I cannot speak today. Okay, this is holy fuck. Okay, I need just water. You were in shock? What? Was not supposed to be? Sandra's a very calculating person. Despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Carita.
Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. And you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked.
Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. Uh-oh. Is Edgeworth finally beating the gay allegations?
Yes. I see.
Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left in the wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly good, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I'd like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Carita, you were in great shock, and that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was.
Actually, so would I.
I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. Oh, excuse me. When I set the glass down in the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over.
Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards?
It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case.
Why did you withhold such an important piece of information?
I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess.
It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Oh yeah, there's nothing else. Really nothing else. Nothing to do with the fact that the fucking guitar case was open and there was no fucking liquid on the inside of it. Testify they knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case is wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that were true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside.
That's very true.
Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case.
And what is that?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor.
And what is wrong with that?
If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shard should be inside, not the outside of the case.
What is your point, right? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all?
No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else.
Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say that she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all.
That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it?
It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case?
The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But it is you.
Can't believe I'm doing this either.
All right, I'll follow along. For now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. That's where I opened the case. Even I don't know.
It looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting.
Anyways, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination.
Using any way to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man.
Okay. Alright. There's no way you would want to open the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints in this guitar case are those of the victim.
What is it, Miss Andrews?
You shouldn't assume that I must have left Princess because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time?
Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time?
It was the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I was sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves.
I see. Then how could the fingerprint be
Exactly!
on the glass? Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime.
You're wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that'll prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? The fucking wine glass. I have a proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? That you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case?
Order!
Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. Huh? What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar, the Brevard guitar is at the studio. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean... It was a bright white guitar. Wait, that's not right either.
It was a knife. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves. despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided...
No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed during when the crime took place. Yep, I know what I'm saying. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder.
If you are so sure, right, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright?
Well, let's suppose for a second that the brighter guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case.
The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar was in the case? So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, right?
I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove.
Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have at it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? This is a photograph.
Look at this photograph!
Photograph!
Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. It makes me laugh.
In this picture?
I was like a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is... It said the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's own very costume.
What?
What the fuck?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right. Are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that?
That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. But then just put it on to hide her identity so she can make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? Ugh. Oh.
Hold on, it keeps messing me up, like my headset keeps disconnecting and shit. I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea?
Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo? My God, this is good. Order! Order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guard. Why would something of the defendant in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places. true. That is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the board would like to hear your thoughts. What was the Nickel Samurai's costume doing inside the guitar case?
Mr. Ungard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we were talking about was a spare costume.
What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
Yes, that is what I am saying.
And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? Completely different. It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Korida, was the German ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act?
And therein lies the sticking point.
What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue?
Huh? No, I just...
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was... press conference.
What is this?
On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference.
A press conference?
Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference.
I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up right.
But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ungard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, it can only mean one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Carita himself.
The victim?
Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Carita was going to hold a press conference as the Nickel Samurai.
He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing?
That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference.
The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself.
Which means that Juan Carita, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak out about Matt Ungard.
Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure. Miss Andrews?
I can see why you're a pros at what you do.
Pardon me?
Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by one.
Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this.
I was the one he asked to help set up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him. That was also me.
You?
Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year, and if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway.
He was going to ruin him. Huh?
It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What?
And do you know what the secret of Mr. On Guards is, Miss Andrew?
That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is.
I see.
I've probably been coming off as quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Protect Mr. Ungard?
And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand. The moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him.
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit.
If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine, Mr. Wright.
Looks like somehow everything has swung in the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my way into this and turn our logic upside down. Protecting Matt.
Bacteria.
You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife can very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button off the Jammin' Ninja's costume.
You're talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Max Hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that makes a very decisive evidence. Ugh.
Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can gracefully accept his defeat. Holy fuck. Thank goodness Mia could still look at me. With an icy stare, yes.
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony.
This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died.
And what does that mean?
Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off the costume. When?
After the knife was stabbed into the victim.
Exactly. Which means it's impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. Ugh. That's right, Miss Andrews. There was no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was conspicuously pulled off the victim's already dead body. consciously, whatever. Fuck, my brain. I don't know.
Order. What is the meaning? What is the meaning of this rite? You didn't have to cut it off. That was mean. So what if the button was torn off of the body after the victim had already died? What does that change?
Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve?
What purpose?
We now know this button was not torn off during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it?
Mr. Wright, does this mean... Does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it?
There is only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. Ungard.
Alright, we're good.
There's no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. Ungard was set up. By the real killer, of course.
And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then?
Finally. Can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. Ungard is... Holy fucking shit.
Who would have thunk?
Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you. You are Mr. Kurita's killer. Go, Pokeball! What?
Rabble. Ooh, rabble. Order. Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge?
Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. Well, how preposterous! You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you get to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. Ungard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. That's pair of glasses number 3. Then, what about the button that was found in Matsukama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he'd already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. Ungard was the real killer, there's no way he would have put such an incriminating evidence in his own comma. Number 4. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. Ungard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews.
I see. What about the empty guitar case?
That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. The costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as he fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could have only been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No,
But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right.
That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a body. Number 5. And to top it all off, there is this photo.
Where is she getting these glasses?
This happens a lot. They spontaneously combust. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. An original person on Earth can believe the Nico symbolized Mr. Ungard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Ugh. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time.
Miss Andrews?
I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. She better pull the I invoke the fifth.
Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination. By allowing the witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves.
What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday at Mr. Ungard's room. Oh shit.
Adrian Andrews.
Yes?
Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood?
Alright. That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews not to testify if things look bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done.
What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence?
What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless.
What?
Everything you have proven is circumstantial.
Circumstantial? Holy fuck.
Circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Corrida. Mr. Corrida.
Ooh, rabble. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Corrida?
I believe this may lead me to incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering.
But, Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think?
Maybe so, maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No. She's taking that defiant attitude again. But, Mia, what should we do? I don't fucking know this is your case. Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation.
I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time.
Phoenix, can you like talk and tell the judge that somebody was interfering with the witness yesterday?
Yeah, probably should.
Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify. And the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid, definitive proof.
But that's not true.
In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do. And that is to declare a recess.
Recess?
I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial,
Tomorrow? We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial.
What are you sweating for? Have you finally reached puberty? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he?
That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then... my,
but it's impossible to continue as long as the witness testifies. Now then, this court is...
It is not impossible for this trial to continue.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you...
It's true, Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony.
Yes, that is very true, but...
Actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, what did you a glass of juice?
Yes, and?
I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they're shaken up, stirring a glass of juice.
Some reactions were unusual, but I've already...
Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect.
Testify?
Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness.
I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. Maybe he's more than a friend to you, Phoenix.
The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please.
That glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked in the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. He had a knife in his fucking chest. To be honest, I thought he
wasn't there.
To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's where I knocked the flower vase over.
Completely unrelated, Donald Trump is allegedly seriously considering a pardon for Diddy.
Bro.
Anyway.
Oh, America's cooked. They've been cooked, but
It's been cooked. What do you mean it is?
I know it's been cooked, but like... Well, thank God we live in Canada.
So he poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony?
I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. I've been in court before. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Yowie.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Alright. Yeah, have you even looked at the fucking crime photo? So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body.
What is the meaning of this?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There was a knife sticking straight out Mr. Carita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought here he was a dead man. Well, you see... I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who's fainted, except for Gumshoe, maybe. That's a possibility. And then so nonchalantly pour something to drink.
Your point is...
Miss Andrews, your testimony just now was all one giant lie. 6. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer. No!
Vader? It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt on guard, is not guilty after all.
1 sec. No, Poppy, get out of my... I'm back.
I can tell that Poppy was...
She just jumped into my room. Everything in here is like a giant snack for her. That's impossible. You're wrong.
Miss Andrews, try to have some composure.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed one. But you were the one who refused to testify, and your reason for not doing so, though, is that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because...
Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you?
I refuse to testify. God fucking damn it.
Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt on guard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated.
Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't.
Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict, Mr. Matt.
Fuck, god damn it, Edgeworth.
Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time.
What?
The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute, real truth.
The absolute real truth? What are you?
Witness, don't you understand yet?
Huh?
I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head.
Von Karma.
But as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt on guard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party.
That's a lie. I don't believe you.
What?
I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lived by gripping tightly onto the words of others, because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, and no matter what happens, if you do, Matt on guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All I have to do now is get her not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please, someone help me.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
the court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear...
What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Right. I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who was the real mastermind behind this crime.
Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? Someone else who could be, except for the woman crying over there, right?
Come now. What will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
I'm leaving this in your hands. It doesn't matter.
We're going to do the very tried and talented. Flip a coin, Gemini.
Happy to virtually flip a coin for you. It's heads.
Well, looks like we're requesting the not guilty verdict.
No matter what she says, Miss Andrews is the only person it could be. Not to mention, I don't have a choice. I have to win a complete acquittal today. Your Honor, the defense believes there was enough evidence to substantiate our claim. Therefore, a motion that this court passes verdict of not guilty as soon as possible.
I'm disappointed in you, Wright. What have you learned in this past year?
That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth.
You're wrong.
What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However,
What is it, Edgeworth, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court.
Stop.
Mr. Edgeworth!
This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness.
What?
because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past.
Stop! Please stop!
No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here.
That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report.
What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews.
The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares him more than anything else in the world. Please stop! I beg you. If people find out, I'll... Edward don't give a fuck.
If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern.
Holy fuck, Edgeworth. Edgeworth, how could you be so cold? For the record, I've never chosen this path, by the way. I did not know he basically said, if you kill yourself in jail, I don't care.
Damn. I'm just like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do.
Holy fuck.
So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me.
I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. I need a minute, holy fuck. That was wild. Like, I know Edgeworth has that, like, cold side to him, because I've played the Investigations games. I've seen how out of pocket he can be, and how just, like, I don't give a fuck. You're talking whether you like it or not. But
It's never gone to like this.
no. Because I'm pretty sure, like, they don't... I'm assuming because he's the main character, they don't want him to be, like, okay, like, this asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair...
Because they want the yaoi fan art.
Yes, but... that was good, oh my god. Anyways, my crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. And when I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife, and ripped off the button. Just when I finished, I was returning to Matt's room. I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume.
Damn.
Stabbed the body? With a knife? But why would you do that?
Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man.
What do you mean by all of this?
It might take this court a while to understand, but... this is the truth.
The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man, I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again. Just like last time. Last time?
So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corrida, in the chest with the knife. They want to run her fingerprints on it. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime.
Holy fuck, you see this shit? What?
Oh my
How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer?
Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. I'm with you in this as well, but who?
But you could tell from the state of the room, that there must have been a fight. Are you telling me the truth when you say that you did not know how he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck, but the scarf is part of the Jammy Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up, and went to pour the juice. Fuck. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because one, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence to pin this crime on Matt.
So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button.
The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt had used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume at the time. I said, lazy bitch. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. And then I stabbed one's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. So you were the one to stab the victim with the knife. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But, at the time, I couldn't control my own body and moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed one's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I use the button somehow, I can make Matt look even more suspect.
So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. On Guard's hakama.
Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? An inconvenience. There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. Willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Ogbeg for you. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Globus Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the ceremony.
You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct?
Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there.
And what is this secret?
That, I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nico Samurai costume, the people would think that Juan is the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume.
I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Arngard's room and planted the button.
Into Matt's hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it.
My word. What does all this mean?
Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt on guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, that Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words.
What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as the testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer.
Wait, Your Honor. The fence is still...
Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything.
Yes, exactly. There There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright.
But
Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning.
Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately.
That is all. Court is adjourned for today.
Fuck.
oh shit.
Finally, I'll to eat my sandwich.
Time to jingle keys and wonder how I got this job. Today's trial. It's over. I didn't win an acquittal.
Witness, would you mind if I asked you something?
Edgeworth? What is it?
Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it?
Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked me about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room?
That day?
Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card
And
has
you
any
didn't think
any
to
relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not, but it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Oh.
Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry!
Edgeworth?
Do you have any idea what you have stupidly, yet inadvertently done? This. I can't believe you hid this from me all this time.
I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before.
Other than the fact that I told him to kill himself.
Yeah, but that was just pure rage. That card. What in the world is it? And what does it mean? Don't hit it. Nah.
No!
The cutoff is insane. Holy fuck. Alright.
So, what were your thoughts on the first reaction of me and Edgeworth?
Oh my god. Like, I've seen this case before, but I forgot how wild it gets. Like,
Because you've never chosen that path at all.
I mean, nothing else aside from that point. Like, nothing else aside from that one piece of dialogue where he's like, I don't care if you kill yourself, like, changes. Like, I've seen all this, but it's just been like a year.
Oh.
So I forget how
Wait, so the dialogue is the complete same.
except for like the whole, like, I don't care if you kill yourself in jail scene.
Okay, so I was the deciding factor on if I was gonna be mean or not.
Pretty much, yeah, because I didn't remember which one was which.
Yes.
But yeah,
You're so out of pocket though. Oh my god.
it was crazy.